The theater is a fine art that consists in presenting the public an event which can be real or invented. This act of people who perform it transmit to the public all the information by speeches, dancing, or music. It also added the stagecraft material for the audience to understand better the setting in which the events develop. This art has 2,050 years, in which this art has many history, which we can divide in three parts to resume.
From which I borrow technical terminology classification into genres, and many of these themes, stock characters, and plot elements. Theater scholar Practice Bavis defines theatrical language, stage writing, and specifically of the theater synonymous expression that differentiates theater from the other performing acts, literature, and the arts in general. Theater includes performances of plays and musicals, although it can be defined broadly to include opera and ballet. Those are forms that are outside the scope of this article. Yeah.
Relates the ancient theatre, which is drama, in Greece and Rome. The beginnings of the theatre, and that also carries the fall of the Roman Empire. The Greek theatre took place in a place which held 20,000 people, which are called amphitheaters. The actors chanted the lines more than spoken them, while the chorus was performed by the orchestra. Also, the use of masks was very important for actors. The Roman theater had many influence in the Greek because of the decline of their government and society, but this is based on humorous situations of physical nature. The second part deals with a kind of rebirth of all the art which was with the Renaissance and and the Protestant Reformation, and the impact of authors like Shakespeare and its development in the English crown. Renaissance included the European society in 15th and 16th century, a rediscovery of classical arts of Rome and Greece, while the European countries such as England, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy adopted this art form dominated by the churches of centuries. William Shakespeare was an author who wrote and acted his own plays in the 16th and 17th centuries. He had the luck of right place, act them, and be the investor while he was owner of the companies of theater. This author gave a big impact through the theater art world because of the high class of his pieces of art, and not only that, also that also the way he made this art was seen for the audience. He had the luck of right place, act them, and be the investor while he was owner of the companies of theater. This author gave a big impact through the theater art world because of the high class of his pieces of art, and not only that, also that also the way he made this art was seen for the audience.
The big development of the theater and art during the 18th and 20th centuries. The theater in England during the 18th century was denominated by the genius Dr. David Garrick 1717-1779. He had a known style of acting which details on a natural acting with realism which made that the audience feel better than even what was acted. In the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution brought new things. First big innovation were the gas light natural which was introduced on Londonderry Lane Theatre, and by the end of the century electrical light was used on the stage and also appeared flying stages, fly lofts, elevators and revolving stages. In the 20th century, commercial theatre advanced very much by this development. The theater has a big relationship with music because as in Greek times the speeches were sung by the actors and while they made the play there was an orchestra which played music to give an addition to the play and also to give a different aspect to that was shown to the audience. Theater has a big relation with another forms because all of them come from the theater in the sense and the music theater there are very related to the theater, opera, and ballet.